Presentation. Welcome to Go to 10. Go to 10 is a free meeting place for people who want to grow their ideas or projects on or about the internet. Or, as we're doing today, share some knowledge that can empower the community and the people in our community. So with that said, I want to give a warm welcome to Bertil from STPLN for his presentation. Give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you, Aisha. It's a pleasure being here with our new neighbors, Go to TM. Yeah, I'm from STPLN, and STPLN is well, it used to be this. Just under the big ship, there's a building, STPLN, Stapelbädd. For those of you who know your shipbuilding history, Stapelbädd is or a slipway is a construction or a house where you build large ships on the top and then let them slide or glide gently down into the water. I see some people that for the first time they realize, oh, so that is a Stapelbädd. So when people say in Swedish, gå av stapeln, that's what they mean. Yeah, in literally it's only ships that can go off stapeln. So, but of course. This is not what it looks like today. It looks more like this, and it used to look like this when we found the place. All the Kockums area was like an abandoned industrial area. It was like an industrial graveyard, more or less. And the reason for that was that the industry didn't go too well in Sweden in the late 70s and the early 80s. A lot of industry closed, and Malmö was a really proud industrial town. We didn't only have like the shipbuilding industry, we had a lot of industries in Malmö, but they all started to go really bad, and this area in special closed down. They tried to start new factories, like they were going to start a car factory in the area. They made the building, but they never built any cars there. The brand was Saab, so you can realize that today we're quite happy that they didn't start to build those cars in Malmö. That's a company that's never earned a penny in their long story. And how then did this become this? Well, we have to thank these guys for that. This is this is a couple of skaters. The skate community in Malmö has been super important for the creation of STPLN as we know it. And of course, at this time, we're talking just after the millennium, the skaters were not that welcomed in the city. I mean, shop owners and others were complaining about the skaters, that they were like punks, they destroyed stuff, it was dangerous, they scared away the public or the customers from the shops. So there was a decision made to build a skate park and to place it far away from the civilization in this abandoned industrial area, which we now refer to as Västra Hamnen, maybe the poshest part of Malmö. But at that time, they started they made a decision, and they were going to start to build this skate park. But they also realized that they really needed some help from the skateboard community to do that. So they reached out to the skateboard community and asked for help, and it turned out that the skaters and the city planners could talk to each other really well. They had the same goal. They had different knowledge, but the combined knowledge made this skate park a unique one. Actually, it was a great success from day one. I think only like 3 months after the opening, the most prestigious skate competition in Europe moved from Barcelona to Malmö, and everyone was super proud of this, of course. So why then am I talking about the skaters? Well, the house that we had found, or that the city of Malmö had and didn't use, they made a decision to use the same approach to do something in the house. So they invited people to start to use the house and find out what to do in the house. There was no real purpose. There were some lines about some kind of cultural center, maybe for young adults, maybe experimental, maybe very urban, but they didn't really decide what to do with the house. Instead they invited people to use it, and this is what we call a participatory culture, where the users are generating the content. The first time I ran into participatory culture was at Web 2.0, when internet became more of a communication tool than an information wall, so to say. It went from pushing out information to the users to being a place where people could publish, debate, share, argue, hate, and all of the stuff that we know is internet today. I mean, what would internet be today if you just took away all the users and what they are bringing into this world community, if you will, like nothing. But we've seen it also move more and more to platforms, to big platforms, and I would argue that the reason that we see these big platforms taking over such a vast part of the internet today is because the idea of open source won. You remember there was a big battle about open source, and I mean the big companies were all against it. But it turned out that open source is the shit. Even companies like Apple has to accept open source today. And open source is a super important ingredient in participatory culture. This is another example. This is one of the first participatory ad campaigns. It started out in Australia, where people were super afraid of sugar for some reason. Well, we were all kind of afraid of sugar a few years ago. Sugar was described as like more dangerous than heroin or more addictive than sex or whatever. There were so many ideas about sugar at the time. And there's quite a big part of the Australian population who was very healthy, very much into sports and to nature and to being fit and to eat well and live well and all of that. So this brand of sugar water saw their part of the market decline day by day. So they thought they needed to do something. And they started this campaign just to put a name tag or put a name on the bottles. They chose the most common 50 or 100 names in Australia, and they did that. And people started to run this campaign. They didn't pay a penny. They just handed out the bottles, and people started to take selfies with the bottles, to bring them over to their neighbors or their co-workers. And they really created and did the campaign. How stupid are we? Apparently this stupid. And yeah, I mean, you had seen viral campaigns before, but the viral campaigns is more about the distribution of the campaign, right? Someone does something that is so thrilling, funny, cool, sexy, whatever, that you start to share it immediately. But this was people that were actually doing the campaign for this company. So if we have like the ad industry in that corner, what do we have in that corner? Probably fine arts, right? So this is a piece by a Danish Icelandic artist, Olafur Eliason. Great artist, one of my absolute favorites. He's super present in this region. Actually, this piece was shown in Malmö Konsthall a couple of years ago. And he's also moving very much into architecture these days. So he's also building like several bridges in Copenhagen, for example, have his signature. Why then is he a participatory artist? Well, this room is only one big room. It's yellow monolight in this room. It's nothing else. And the first time he was showing this piece, it's told that the curator was crazy with him. Just a room, just yellow light. There's like nothing. Can't we at least like place a red rose on the floor so that people can see what happens when you have this yellow light? And he was, no, can't do that, because if we do that, this piece will be about a red rose, not about the yellow color, the room. And whenever someone enters this room, they will start to see things differently. And also your brain and your eyes will adjust over time. So the perception of what you are seeing in the room will slowly change. So someone who's been in the room for 30 seconds will have a totally different image than someone who just enters the room. And if no one enters the room, there's nothing. So it's all about the people in the room and the timing when they enter the room and what is happening in their brain. So it's like a cliche to say that art is in the eyes of the people who looks at it, but actually at this time it is, because we all have different images in our heads, and it's totally depending on the relation with other people in this room. The most maybe most overused example of participatory culture is this. This is a little city of 70,000 people that is built every year and then taken away. It's the Burning Man Festival in Nevada desert, I guess. 70,000 people living together for 1 week. You know that the set of rules are described on one paper. That's it, one paper. A few paragraphs sets the rules and the framework for this festival. 70,000 people. Before they come, it's just nature. When they leave, it's just nature. But for a week, it's something completely different. And there's no bands, no theater performances, no arts apart from the people who are at the festival. So this is also a great example that you can do things together. You can have like a framework, a set of rules, and it actually works. And this works year after year after year after year after year. I think it's been around for 20 years now, or maybe more. So it's like a great example that this principle actually works. And this festival has definitely less problem than most pop festivals in the world. A lot of people have been trying to describe participatory culture. This is my poor translation of Henry Jenkins' way of describing it. Henry Jenkins has been studying the internet for a long time, and especially the participatory part of it. So this is his way of describing it. And I mean, I guess you can do this in many ways, but I think it's kind of good. He frames it in a good way. The low barriers for the engagement, the like the strong support of sharing. Sharing is such a big part of it. Also the mentorship, where people who've been in an initiative or in the forum or wherever, like they will bring the culture over to the next generation, or the newbie will get some advices. It's not like super hard. It's not like you handle out the book of rules. It's more like you gently welcome people and tell them, please behave, or this is the way we run this business, or whatever. And also, of course, the feeling that whatever you will contribute with to this organization or initiative is important, and a big respect for others, or at least a big respect for what they have created. At STPLN, we have kind of shortened this down to say that everyone has the right to participate, but no one is forced to do it. You can lurk until you feel that you want to enter a group or an initiative or a training or a course, and when you do, you will be welcomed and you will be appreciated. Simple as that. Okay, so what has this got to do with the title of this little talk? Oops, I happened to learn something. Well, today you can, I guess, define learning or teaching in 3 different groups: the formal, the non-formal, and the informal learning. The formal being the one that you see on the picture. It's Tillberg's famous Swedish painting, Är du lönsam, lille vän? I think it's called. This can represent formal education as we know it from the schooling systems. Non-formal is probably everything else. I mean, classes, tutorials, when you practice stuff, learning by doing, do it yourself, peer learning, all of those things. And then we have the informal learning, is what we refer to at STPLN as what you learn when you think that you're learning how to fix a bike, right? You think that you came there to fix your bike, but since this is a self-organizing organization, can you say self-organizing organization? Yeah, apparently I could. You will also learn how to market, maybe how to do some bookkeeping, how to analyze and follow up what you did, how to collaborate with other people, how to clean a room. At times they learn, at times they don't. But I mean, it's an ongoing training, this one. This is Niklas Negroponti. For you internet geeks, you probably know him quite well. He was the editor of the famous magazine, hey, help me out now, the most famous American internet magazine. Sorry? Well, okay, let's leave it at that. I'm old. I'm entitled to forget stuff. I know for a fact that he's a professor at MIT anyway, and that he ran the project to hand out computers to students, to young students. And he did one spectacular project in Ethiopia, where he found some, or he went to some really remote villages where people hadn't been so much in contact with media before. And he handed out these boxes with computers in them. The computers also had like a little spy program, so that you could really tell what happened when those were handed out. So then, what happened? Did they start to play with the boxes? Did they sell them on the black market? No. Something very interesting happened, and it says in this book that except for the fact that the kids learned how to start these computers immediately, and you know, these are kids in the village. They haven't been one day in school. There are no newspapers. There's no TV. So we're talking about people who are really isolated from the media world. But they learned to start the computers almost immediately. Within hours, they started the first program in the computers. Within a day or two, they had started to learn how to read, because there were some small games in the computers, and they got some help from learning how to read just by looking at what happened, and then they started to learn how to read. And this is all fantastic, and I mean, the researchers were blown away by the speed that this happened. There were no teacher, no instructions. They just handed out the gadgets and they started to work with them. But something else also appeared that they were blown away by. And it says, the kids were competing to each other about how to first learn to solve a problem. But once they had done that and enjoyed the victory for a moment, they immediately changed and became teachers and started to teach the other kids how they solved that problem. That was a way to bring the other ones up to their level so that they could keep playing and having this competition about doing stuff. And it says in this book that the exclusive knowledge wants to leave the person who gets it. It wants to be. We want to transform personal knowledge to common knowledge. To own your knowledge will isolate people, but to share it will socialize people. It's very well framed, that last sentence, and I know it because I wrote this book. So, yeah, and this is how it works at STPLN. Yeah, this is a picture from the bike kitchen, one of the first initiatives that opened at STPLN. There's always someone, a volunteer there to help out, but they never ever touch anyone else's bike. They hand out the tools, they can give some instructions if needed, but they never ever do it. The place is also designed so that people easily can work together. Everyone is like in distance to hand over a tool to someone else, or to ask the one at the next desk if they have a problem. I was at Cykelköket like 2 weeks ago, and I saw faces of people who I saw there like 8 years ago. What the hell are people doing 8 years later at Cykelköket? I mean, the problem they had with their bikes must be either super difficult or they are there for a complete other reason, right? And it turned out that once some of the people come there to fix their bike, they realize that this is like a cool place to be. This is a place where their knowledge is appreciated. So you can say that they have stayed on because the things that they picked up the first day will pay off 8 years later when they can teach someone to fix a flat or to adjust this or to fix that. And I can see, because we have a lot of workshops at STPLN, makers workshops, and I can see that there are two kinds of makers. It's one group of makers who are doing everything to become independent. You know the type. I want to know how to build a house because I don't really trust the construction company. I think I can do that better myself, and I want to learn how to hunt for food or to harvest berries and mushrooms in the forest, to be independent of eco or the man in general. I mean, you want to become independent, and it builds some kind of proud, and you feel safe, secure. And I mean, if you take this to the very limit, you will end up like building your own shelter, starting to buy a lot of toilet paper at ICA, storing it there, and so for you yourself and your family. But there's also another group who learn skills and use it as a currency, a social currency. They buy their way into social groups, communities, by knowing how to do stuff. And these are the people who are fostered in the participatory culture. And they are fostered by this informal learning because they grow and grow and grow. And I promise you that this girl who came for the first time 8 years ago to fix a flat on her sister's bike, she knows a lot more now. Not only about fixing a flat, she knows how to organize a class, she knows how to do bookkeeping, she knows how to market things, she knows how to negotiate with politicians, she knows how to spread the information, she knows how to talk to journalists, and she knows so much more than what she came for. And that is the informal or the non-formal or the informal learning that she picked up during this time. And that is like the big thing with this peer learning that we are practicing at STPLN. So you are not allowed to show slides according to Swedish law if you don't hand out numbers. So these are a few numbers. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. 25,000 is the number of entrances at STPLN over a year. Of course, it's not 25,000 people, individuals, because some people come there every day, some people come there once a week, and some people come there once and never ever more, and maybe for good reasons. 900 is the number of events that we run yearly, which is, I would say, an amazing figure, concerning that we are like 2.5 people working at STPLN to run this house. We are, of course, heavily depending on all the volunteers and all the people who chip in and run their own initiatives at STPLN. And there's like 30 plus initiatives on a normal year at STPLN. And they are independent in the way that they can create and they can run their businesses in the way they want to do. They just need to do it within the framework that we created, and that framework is no more than one paper as well. So it's really easy to understand what you can do and what you can't do. The last figure, 25 to 45, I think is the most interesting of this. This is the age of most of the people who come to STPLN. Why then is this interesting? Well, actually, I never thought about the age of people until I had a group of librarians from Gothenburg visiting a year or so ago, and they asked me about the age of people who use STPLN, and I said we have kids, and we have like Johnny, who's 86 years old too, but like the main group is between 25 and 45, and the librarians started to laugh out loud as if I was some kind of stand-up comedian, and I had no idea what they were laughing about. But it turns out that this age group is the one that libraries are struggling to get. 25 to 45-year-old people don't go to libraries, period. And it doesn't matter what they do. I mean, they spend so much money to try to make them come there. They do special programs, they advertise, they do pirouettes to make them come there. They don't. They don't want to be in libraries. They come there at times just to leave the kids for something. Hey kids, there's an activity for you there. I'll wait in the cafeteria. And then they run away from libraries. So we started to talk, why is that? How come we get them? We never asked for them. They just came, and they can't get them. And we realized that the thing is that in the library, I love libraries. In the library, it's like an institution where you get service. They hand out service to you. Whatever you need, they say, yes, I can do that. I can pick up that book for you. I can design this class for you. Oh, you want us to invite this author to talk? Yeah, we can probably do that. And we can arrange it. And we'll hand out the seats, and you have a seat, listen to this person. That is impossible to do at STPLN. STPLN attracts people who don't want service. They don't want it. They want to do it themselves. People in the age of 25 to 45 years old are people who want to do stuff themselves. Why? Because they think they can. They have like a grandiose self-image. It's the age where you start stupid things. I mean, really, really stupid things like families, like companies. Hey, you get kids? How fucked up is that? You have to be like totally self-assured to do these kind of things. And that's the 25 to 45-year-olds. They do this kind. They engage in politics. Ooh, strange people, right? And they come to STPLN because they think they can create things that are a little bit bigger than themselves, a little bit bigger than the small group. They even sometimes think that they can change the world a little bit. And if you ask me, they are. Okay. Thank you very much.